In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT and Canva to make an activity book that you can sell on Amazon KDP and make thousands of dollars from every month. So for those of you that are new here, my name is Sam and I've built 2 six-figure Amazon KDP businesses and helped many of my students do the same. And on this channel, I teach people to build passive income by selling activity books on Amazon KDP. So with that said, let's dive straight into this video and show you how you can make these books using ChatGPT and Canva. So before I show you how you can use ChatGPT and Canva to create these activity books, I just want to show you how much money you can potentially make from them and how real this business model actually is and that it genuinely works. So here is an example of a super simple activity book. As you can see, ultimate activity book for kids ages 6 to 8. It's just 100 fun-filled pages of mazes, dot-to-dot, word search, crossword puzzles. Very, very basic kind of activity book. And as you can see, if we scroll all the way to the bottom, it is the 4,814th best-selling book on Amazon at the time of recording. So if I just go over to this sales calculator, which I will leave linked down below in the description if you want to go ahead and check that out. It basically shows how much a single book is making based off this bestseller rank. So I put the bestseller rank in here, press calculate sales. This book is selling 44 units a day and 1,320 units per month. It is 107 pages and it sells at $9.97. So let's just go back in here. Go ahead and press calculate. So every single time this book makes a sale, it is making $3.68 for the publisher. And when you consider it is selling over 1,300 units per month, this book is making just under $5,000 every single month completely in passive income. And I'm going to show exactly how you can use ChatGPT and Canva to create a book just like this. So the first thing you need to do when it comes to creating a book is you need to find out what the kind of book you want to create. Amazon KDP isn't quite as simple as just creating any kind of book and then just hoping it sells. You need to do a little bit of research beforehand, and ChatGPT can definitely help you generate ideas for your KDP books. So I've just typed in here, I'm looking to create an activity book for kids aged 8 to 12 and it to be something that can be given as a gift for Christmas. Can you suggest some niche ideas where books are currently selling well, a BSR, bestseller rank, as I just showed you there, of less than 80,000. This is just a kind of a rough guide. And there isn't more than 3 main competitors. Now, ChatGPT isn't actually capable of scraping all of this data from Amazon, but it can give you a rough idea that you can go and validate yourself. So what it's suggested here is creating a Christmas-themed activity books for children aged 8 to 12 and says that it's a wonderful idea. Actually, with experience on Amazon KDP, I don't want to be making a Christmas-themed activity book because there are so many other people doing that, which is what I mean when I say you can't fully just rely on ChatGPT to do this niche research for you. So ChatGPT can't specifically find us niches based on data, but it can suggest some things for us. So this has all just been holiday and Christmas themed, so I don't want to do that. So I just replied and said, I don't want it to be Christmas themed and I want you to tell me how we can bring each book to life. So I don't want it just to tell me what potential books we can make. I want it to tell me exactly how it specifically can help me make these books. So I said, got it, below are some niche ideas for kids activity books ages 8 to 12 that can work out as gifts but are not Christmas themed. Perfect, exactly what we want now. So you do have to tinker ChatGPT a little bit, as I'm sure you know for anyone that's used it. So it's given me a list of loads of different options: mystery detective book, space exploration adventure, animal kingdom explorer, spy training academy. These are all some really good ideas for books that we can create. And I really like this idea of a space exploration adventure. Basically this idea of, mazes, word scrambles, dot to dot, consolations and trivia, all based around theme. To allow kids to become space explorers, solving puzzles to navigate galaxies, decode alien messages, and learn some fun space facts. How ChatGPT can help us. It can help generate space-themed word search puzzles, word scrambles with educational elements, design mazes, writing interesting space trivia, and create custom illustrations. So we're going to go for this book. This is a good theme here. We're happy with that. So I then went back to ChatGPT and said, okay, I like this idea, but let's get a little bit more information about that. And I said, can you explain more about why the space exploration adventure niche is a good idea? And it said the space exploration adventure niche is a fantastic idea for an activity book for kids aged 8 to 12 for several reasons. One, it's a strong interest among kids. There is market demand. So although it's not specifically pulling back numbers of, BSRs and competitors, it knows that space remains a popular theme with frequent discussions in the media about Mars. Obviously, this is outside of Amazon as well. Evergreen appeal, unlike seasonal niches, it's not dependent purely on the Christmas period like the other one. and it can be given as a gift. It's also looked on Amazon itself. While there are some space-themed books for kids, many focus on basic facts or coloring pages, so there might be a lot of space coloring books on Amazon, but not a lot of space activity books. So that's a really good example of how ChatGPT can help you find the right idea for a book. So basically it just goes in and points out a couple of things as to why this is a good niche to go into. And at the end, it's just said how we can help bring this book to life: puzzle creation, educational content, creative prompts, illustrating strategies, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and start making the first activity on ChatGPT. So it mentioned above that it can help us create coding challenges for this activity book. So I've just said, let's start with the coding challenges. So it's going to be creating space-themed coding challenges for kids aged 8 to 12. So it's got some theme ideas for it, alien message decoder. So it's not just taking decoding as an activity, it's also applying it to the context of what our book is about. So, it knows it's about space. How can we have kind of space-themed decoding activities? So alien message decoder, rocket navigation, planet distance calculator. So all of these ideas that you can include in your activity book that are really good ideas, all just generated in ChatGPT, which is really, really good. So here's an example of one of them, the alien message decoder, and it basically says an alien sends a message to Earth using a simple cipher. Each letter in the message is shifted by 3 places in the alphabet, i.e. A becomes D, B becomes E. Decode the message using the following steps. And ChatGPT has actually given me a Python code for this. We're going to be using it in Canva, so don't worry. This scares me probably just as much as it will you. So I've actually ignored this prompt, and I've just said, I'm creating this book in Canva, so I won't be able to use Python, so can you do the coding for me? And then I will transfer that to Canva. So it's not going to be perfect every single time, but there's no sense of ChatGPT that's ever perfect every time. You just need to probe it and let it know exactly what you want from it. So it says it will create space-themed coding challenges that's simple, visual, and easy to transfer to Canva. Again, for some reason, it's added in visual code. This continues to scare me, so I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that and say, I don't want transfer code. I just want the puzzle, the instructions, and the answer in text form. And now it's finally giving us what we wanted. So here is the encoded message here. And it said, based on shifting the letter backwards by 3 places in the alphabet, A becomes X, B becomes Y, and C becomes Z. Because obviously A goes A, Z, Y, X. So that took a lot of mental thinking. So it just shifts every letter in the alphabet back 3 places. So here is the first code. And then here is the answer, hello world. So this code actually goes and translates into hello world. So that is the first code for our book. So I've just said I need 3 more codes to include on the same page. And what it's given me is a couple of weird words. So it said thing, aliens, paper, space. So, it's AI. It's not quite got the same, concept of language as humans do. These don't make any sense. So I'm not particularly happy with these, and I'm not going to go ahead and use them. So I just said, actually, I'm going to tell you what the answers to be. You could just go in and code them yourself. So I want them to be, we come in peace, we love Earth, can we be friends? And what it's done is taken exactly the same logic and then taken the answers that I want and then generated the coded versions of these. So as you can see, here's puzzle 1. This is the coded message, and this is the decoded message, or in this case, the answer. Same for puzzle 2, puzzle 3, and puzzle 4. So now I'm going to head over to Canva, start making the interior for the book, and then start building out this first activity extremely easily because ChatGPT has done most of the heavy lifting for us. So once you're on Canva, all you need to do is go ahead and create a design, and we're going to go for the width of 8.625 and the height of 11.25, and this is going to give us an interior dimension for an A4 size book. And we're going to have a bleed interior. Bleed interior basically means the inside of the book is going to bleed into the spine of the page. If you weren't having a bleed interior, you would just go for 8.5 by 11. But because we have bleed, you'll see why in just a sec. I'm going to go for 8.625 by 11.25. Now, if you want a resource that shows you all of the file sizes, I will also leave that link down below in the description for you to access. So just go ahead and press create design. And this is our blank canvas. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is just name this space activity. Oh, spelled that wrong. Activity book. And the first thing we need to do, or I like to do for activity books like this, is have some kind of background and visually appealing structure to the book. So I'm simply going to go over to Elements and just go for space background, type this in and see what we can use in the back of our book. Let's just see what kind of designs do we have. So I kind of like this one. This can look pretty good. Remember, this book is going to be in black and white, so you want to make sure you choose black and white elements. I'm going to go for this and then just copy this over. And if you look carefully, it's a pattern, so it actually joins up really well. You can see here, this meteorite joins up perfectly to the previous page, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to go ahead and move this over here. I'm just going to include and leave all of this in because I think it is useful for you to know, especially if you're a beginner with Amazon KDP, just how I actually bring this sort of thing to life. Keep copying and pasting these. There you go. And then we'll do one more right to the bottom. So that is the background for our book. What you want to do is go ahead, highlight all of these, and then just make sure they are locked in place. Make sure you press lock, and therefore this background isn't going to move regardless of any other elements over the top. So we're happy with that. Let's go back in and actually choose just a normal square here. And this is where our activities are actually going to sit. We're going to place this nicely in the middle of the page. So let's go to the edge of these pink areas where you can see on the canvas, and then pull this all the way up to the top, and then drag this all the way down to the bottom. Actually, we're going to go a little bit over the pink lines, which is absolutely fine in this case. And we're just going to go ahead and click into this here, make this white, and then give it a border. Let's make this a black border, and then give it curved edges because curved corners are always much nicer to look at than sharp corners. And that is the backdrop for our pages for our activity book. So every single page in this book is going to have an activity in this white canvas, and it's just going to have this cool backdrop rather than just having blank pages, which is not quite as visually appealing. That just makes the book look a lot more professional, and it's literally taken us a couple of minutes to do. So the final thing we want to do, go up here and then also just lock this in. Go ahead and just lock this in place. So now these elements are going to be the same on every single page, and they're just not going to move regardless of what we put on the top. Now it comes to making the first page for our book. So we're going to go ahead and make our space puzzle. So essentially we want to go ahead and copy and paste all of these over to Canva. But the first thing we need to do is find some text. So just go ahead and drop in a text box. And then we want it to be kind of space themed. And the best thing about Canva is you can literally go in and type in space, and it will give all of the themes of fonts that are related to space. So I quite like this space mono font. We're going to go for that and just make it bold, and then just change this to secret code. So that is the title of this activity. So secret code is in there. I'm going to go off camera now and just write a little bit of a script to describe exactly what this is about, and then I'll come back once I've done that. So as you can see, I'm back, and I've just added in some text to give a little bit of an explanation as to how this activity works, because you have to remember it's going to be kids using this. You want to explain a little bit about how the activity works. So I've just said scientists have just discovered some mysterious messages found by an abandoned spacecraft. It seems to be a secret code where each letter in the alphabet has been moved backwards 3 spaces, e.g. A equals X, B equals Y, etc. And then I've just said we've managed to decode the first one for you, but we need your help to decode the other ones, because this is clear instructions maybe for an adult, but a kid might need an actual physical, to actually see how this decoding actually works. So I'm going to complete the first one for them, and then once I've done that, I'll come back and show you exactly how to do it. So I'm back, and as you can see, I've completed the first one. So the first one is this core zrug. I don't even know how to say that, but that actually translates to hello world. If we go back to our puzzle, this was the first one that it did. Let's scroll all the way up here. As you can see, this word, and then that translates to hello world. So this is the first one, and we're actually going to give this to the kids so they don't have to work this one out, and it just shows them exactly what we mean, because K backwards 3 spaces goes to 8, and then they can work this out. However, it's now time to move on to the actual puzzles themselves. In order to put these in, all I did was just copy and paste this text here, and then I actually chose the same font here, just went to and then typed in core ZRUG. What size is this? 26.8. So I made this bigger, 26.8. Also made it bold. And also, as you can see, the space between the letters is a little bit bigger, because ultimately that's kind of how this activity should look. So to do that, all you need to do is go over to the spacing tab here, and then go for letter spacing, and then increase that. And that basically increases the space between the letters. And then copy and pasted this, and then made the text below a little bit smaller, and then just said hello world. And because this doesn't need to be huge space between the letters, I went back and brought that back down to 0. And then I just included a line below in elements, just dropped in a line and just dropped that in below. So that's how basically I created that first activity, just to show you how to do it. Very, very straightforward. You shouldn't have any problems with that. But when it comes to actually creating the rest of the activities, all we want to do is go ahead and highlight these, Press group so it now groups all of these different elements together, and then just Control C, Control V to copy and paste. And we want to make sure we're doing that for all of the activities. So let's do that. And what we want to do here is make sure we space the top one and the bottom one where it needs to be, because these at the moment look a little bit clustered. There's not much space between the two. The gap here is much smaller than the gap here, so it's just a bit inconsistent. So to tidy that up, all you need to do is go ahead and highlight all of these 4 boxes, go to position, and then just space evenly vertically. And now these are all evenly spaced and they're all aligned perfectly. So here are our 4 questions. Let's go back into ChatGPT. Go down to the other puzzles. So this was puzzle 1, that's the one we didn't want to use. Here, let's go ahead and copy and paste this. Drop this into our first one. Let's backspace on that. And actually it might be better if you ungroup all of these before you go in and actually edit them. So you can see this one has defaulted to lowercase letters. To fix that, all you need to do is go to these see more and then just press uppercase. That will change everything into uppercase. Get rid of the answers because we don't want the answers here. We want them to actually figure it out themselves. Go ahead and ungroup that. So that's the first one. Let's go into the next one, which is this. This activity, copy and paste. Again, we want to make sure that it is capitalized. And then the final one, go into here, copy, paste, and make sure this is capitalized too. You might have to expand the text box on this one because it's a little bit of a bigger sentence, and then just make sure you position this centrally so it still aligns with everything. And there you go, there is the first activity for our book. I actually think this still looks a little bit clustered, so let's just move this up a little bit more. And the same with this one, and then here. And then again, let's just make sure these individual ones are grouped together. Because when you group them together, it basically allows you to, position them all vertically the same distance from each other. So let's move this up a little bit like that. Highlight all of these again, position, and then go space evenly vertically. And there you go, it's just a little bit more space for the activity. That is the first activity for our book. It's the secret code. All you want to do now, if you want to go ahead and repeat a couple more versions of this, is go into ChatGPT and just ask them for more examples. Maybe say, can I have 12 more puzzles like this? And then to do the same thing, go ahead and just press duplicate page, and then just go in and change all of the text again for the correct puzzle. So that is how you do the first activity. Now, in terms of the answer pages, all you need to do again is just duplicate the page and then take these ones here and then just make sure you're dropping the actual answers for all of the decodes into here. But I'm not going to do that in this video because that just takes up a lot of time and is very, very straightforward to do. So when you're making an activity book, just make sure you have the activity page and also the answer page. And then to make sure you're just doing multiple versions of those, you can just go ahead and press duplicate page. So there is the first activity for our space activity book. Let's now move back into ChatGPT and start another activity. So I've gone back into ChatGPT and said, can we create space themed trivia questions next? As you can see, it's given us loads of space trivia. Which planet in our solar system is the largest? 4 different options, and then loads of different trivia. So again, all the thinking taken off our plate. ChatGPT has done that literally in a matter of seconds. And now it's just a case of copying this over into our Canva file. So I'm back, and as you can see, I've already gone ahead and done this. All I've literally done is taken the questions from here. I've slightly reworded them because it's important when you're taking text from ChatGPT, if it's actual sentences, not just to copy and paste everything, because Amazon can have AI detectors for that. Just go ahead and change a couple of words in the sentence. So which planet in our solar system is the largest? I've just changed that to which of these planets in our solar system is the biggest. Exactly the same question, we just worded it a little bit differently to make sure we're not upsetting Amazon by using too much AI in our book, which is definitely a thing, but if you're doing it exactly like I'm doing in this video, you will be absolutely fine. And then I've just put in different options here. So these are all individual text boxes: Earth, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. Again, nothing really too crazy. These books honestly are super simple to make. So now they're all grouped together, I'm just going to go to position and then just put them in the center of the page, and then do the same for all of these just to make sure they're all the same. And then highlight these 3 boxes, position, and then distribute space evenly vertically. They're already vertically evenly spaced. So that is the second page. We've got space trivia done now. We've got our secret coding done, and it's literally taken us a couple of minutes to do the same for this for another round of trivia. Go back in, and all you need to do is just change this to another question. and then it's literally as simple as that, rinse and repeat. And then when it comes to making the answer pages, let's just say we needed to make the answer page for this book, maybe just duplicate it, and then just take something like a circle. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit wider. Depends what you want to do, and then just go for no fill, but give it an outline like this, and then you can just circle whichever answer is the correct one. Is Jupiter, so I just circle Jupiter here as the answer. So that's what you can do for the answer pages. Again, super simple to do. So we've completed 2 different activities for our activity book. Now, what I generally would recommend when doing this actually for yourself to upload to Amazon is make sure you've got at least 10 different activities in there. Again, it's super simple. I'm not going to do it in this video. Just go back into Canva and basically ask it to do loads of different activities here. So as you can see, I've said the next activity is going to be a word search. It basically comes up with loads of different word search themes, loads of words. So I'm not going to go ahead and do this on camera because it just takes up a lot of time. And that's not the main purpose of the video. The video is just to show you how you can use ChatGPT and Canva. Once you've done your interior, it's now time to move on to your book cover, and you can actually do all of that in Canva itself. But before you do that, you need to make sure you have the right dimensions for your book cover. So just go to kdp.amazon.com/cover calculator and then put in the following information. It's a paperback. It's going to be black and white interior. The paper type is white paper. Reading direction left to right. Measurement units is in inches, and our interior trim size, as I said at the start, was 8.5 by 11. And let's just say it has 108 pages. Go ahead and press calculate dimensions. And these are the dimensions for our books. So our Canva file needs to be 17.493 by 11.25. And then we're going to go ahead and just press download this template, which we can upload to Canva. And before we jump in, if you want to accelerate your Amazon KDP learning, then you can join my premium Amazon KDP community, which I will leave linked down below in the description. There's advanced Amazon KDP videos. There's a community where you can ask me personally any questions you have on your KDP journey, discounts of KDP software, access to my freelancers, bi-weekly KDP Q&A. So much value in there. If you want to join that, like I say, I will leave that linked down below in the description. So we're back in Canva, and now we need to go ahead and put in these dimensions. So 17.493 by 11.25. Go ahead and press create design. So once you've got your Canva set up, go ahead and just drag and drop this file that we just downloaded into your Canva file, and that will just drop it into there. And then pull this all the way up to the top of the page, and then pull this all the way down to the bottom. And this is going to be basically where our interior is going to sit. Now, to find the background, all we're going to do is just type in space background and see what comes up. Can we use any of these? Yeah, quite like this one. This looks like a nice space background. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do now is go off camera, create a book cover, and then talk you through exactly how I did that once that's been done. So I'm back, and as you can see, this is our book cover. Very straightforward. I've made it in a couple of minutes, so you could maybe add a little bit more detail to it if you wanted to, but I think it looks solid, and it's something that I can see doing well on Amazon. So I've just got space activity book for kids. I've just used this main backdrop here that I showed just a second ago. Then I've added in some text with the space cowboy font. I've then used the space mono font for these ones. And I've just gone to the elements tab and just typed in space and just seen loads of different elements that I can just drag and drop into this file. So you see this meteorite is exactly this one here. So it's actually very straightforward to create a book cover using Canva. I've just left the back bit blank because there doesn't need to be anything on there because it's just an activity book. You can potentially show examples of the activities in here, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to include that there. So once you're happy with that, all you want to do is go to share and then just go to download. And then just download this as a PDF print, and then just press the download button, and that's going to download the file that we can then go ahead and upload to Amazon KDP in just a sec. And then you want to make sure you're doing the same with the interior. So here's our interior that we created earlier. Make sure you go to PDF print and then just press download. And those are the 2 files that we're going to upload to Amazon KDP, and that is going to be our book completely done. So I'm going to head over to KDP now and show you exactly how we can upload these books. So in order to upload this video, just head over to kdp.amazon.com, and this is where you would upload your book. If you haven't already got an account, just go ahead and create an account. It is very straightforward. Then to upload your book, just go ahead and press this create button, and we'll give you a couple of options of the different books you want to upload. We're going to be uploading a paperback, so go ahead and press create paperback. Remember, we're only uploading the digital versions of these. These will get printed physically once someone buys it through Amazon's print on demand business model. And then you go ahead and put in a bit of data about your books. Now, actually, this is actually quite an important process. There are certain things like having a good description, having the right keywords in there that do take a lot of time. especially a lot of research. So in this video, I'm just going to quickly scan over all of these. If you do want a full tutorial of exactly how to fill out all of these correctly, then you can check out my free course, which I say is linked down below in the description. It goes into so much detail about how you format your descriptions, how to do keyword research, how you structure your different keyword research boxes, so many different things that just simply can't be included in one video. So go ahead and check that out if you want to. So I'm just going to quickly rush through this in this example, just to show you how you actually bring it to life. So the book title is going to be Space Activity Book. And then the subtitle, we're going to go for Fun Space Activities for Young Kids. Now, the title and the subtitle is actually very important for SEO, which is why you want to make sure you do your keyword research and get the best keywords in the title and also the subtitle. But as I say, I'm just showing you as an example here of how to actually just fill out this data. The author, we're going to go for Space Man Sam, just because just making up an author name. You can literally have whatever author name you want, and you can have different author names for loads of different books. Under one account, you can have maybe 10, 20 plus author names. You don't have to put your own name every single time. So if I was doing a load of different space books, I can have them all under the author name Spaceman Sam, and then loads of, adult coloring books under a different pen name. You can have whatever author name you want, and this is the name that shows up on the Amazon listing. So just as an example here, this is what's going to appear in that title box. So when we go to the title up here, this is what's going to appear before the colons, and then this is their subtitles. They put over 200 vein bending challenges in their subtitle, and then they put their author name. This is actually different because they've got contributors, but if they just put William Potter in this box here, as you can see here, they'd have William Potter in here. That's what's going to be this thing here. So when I upload my book, it will say Spaceman Sam here. Then you can click into my author profile. That's how all of that works. Description. This is where your description goes. I'll just put this in here. It would help with export description. And any text you put in here will be what appears here. So this person has literally gone ahead and taken this and then drop this into their description box, just like that. Obviously, I'm not going to copy that because I'm literally copying word for word what they've done. But that just shows you where the description actually appears on the Amazon book listing. Publishing rights, you always want to own the publishing rights. Primary audience, again, doesn't really matter too much. You can select these. These are optional. Primary marketplace, you always want to choose .com or .co.uk. If it's a book specifically for maybe the UK market, it's a UK themed book or something like that, you probably want to select UK, and same with these other territories. But for most of the time, you want it to be Amazon.com because that is the biggest market. You then choose the categories. So let's just go into children's books. Action and adventure could definitely count, but let's also see if there's anything else. Science, nature, and how it works. Is there anything to do with space? Perhaps not there. Astronomy and space, here you go. Aeronautics and space and astronomy, add those two as the two categories. These categories are what appear down here in the product section, and also allow Amazon to basically know more about what kind of book you have. Keywords here, it says, are optional, but these are different ways that people could potentially search for your books. These are actually really, really important. So I'm not going to go into full detail here because that is a completely separate video in itself. But let's just go for space book for boys aged 8 to 12, for example. These are just relevant keywords related to the books that we've just created. And that's basically where you would put these in. So loads of different keywords you could put in. You could put in space gift for kids. As you get the idea, loads of different keywords that you can put in there. And then keep these the same, then go to save and continue, and that would take you to the next step, which is actually uploading the book content. So on the next bit, you have the first bit, which is an ISBN. If you want to upload your book properly, you want to go ahead and press assign ISBN. I'm just doing this as an example, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. You then have your different print options. Choose whatever print you want. I would say massively recommend black and white interior with white paper because this has the cheapest printing costs. Trim size, if you cast your minds back to the start, we did an 8.5 by 11 book. And we had the bleed interior, which basically means the inside of our book will bleed into the spine. This is an example of a non-bleed interior because, as you can see, the text stops here. It doesn't bleed into the spine of the book. Whereas something like a notebook where it has lines across, that would bleed into the spine and therefore be a bleed book. With ours, we have those images on the outside which do bleed into the spine. So therefore, we've selected bleed. And we want to just go for a matte finish. And then we have the manuscript and book cover. This is where you actually upload the book files that we generated. So I'm going to go ahead and upload those now and be back once they're done. So once you've uploaded those two files, one thing to say, I actually always use the upload a cover you already have. The default will be to use a cover creator. Make sure you want to select this upload a cover you already have and then upload that file that we just created in Canva. Once that's uploading, then you need to move on to the next stage, which is AI generated content, and basically answer whether or not you used AI generated tools in creating anything to do with the book. In this example, we did because we used ChatGPT for some of the text. Let's go for some sections with minimal or no editing. Sorry, with extensive editing because we used ChatGPT, but we literally edited a lot of the text. So they're not trying to catch you out here. It's just a case of putting that in. Images, no, we didn't use any, but you can do if you're using something like Midjourney or Kittle image generator, you would put them in there. But for this example, we didn't use either of those. So we're happy with that. And then all you want to do is go ahead and press Launch Previewer. And that's going to show us a preview of our book before we can go ahead and put the price up. So this is what the preview for our book looks like. You can see exactly as our front and back cover looked in our Canva file. So this just gives you a visual idea of what the book actually looks like. You can also see the interior pages too. So this is exactly as it looked on our Canva file. I've just noticed here I've actually spelled Mercury wrong. So yeah, I would go back and change that and then re-upload the same file. And it's also worth remembering, if you do spot any kind of spelling mistakes after you published your book, you can always just go in and re-upload on the same book, just a completely new file. So you can constantly change the interior of a book once it's gone live. You just can't change things like the title and the subtitle. So yeah, I would definitely make sure you check for spelling mistakes like this. But if you do make them and you've uploaded them, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You can go ahead and change them. But once you're happy with everything, just go ahead and press approve. And then move on to the next stage. Now, just highlight here on that launch preview that we just showed, if you do have any issues with your dimensions that they don't fit on the page or Amazon aren't happy with them, at that point, they would say that you can't go to the next step until you fix those issues. But obviously, if you followed this tutorial, everything should be absolutely fine. So we're happy with that now, and we're going to have a printing cost of $2.84. This is how much it's going to cost us to print 1 unit of this book. Remember, we don't ever actually pay that. That just comes out of our royalties. So we'll sell this book for maybe like $8.99, $2.84 comes out of that for the printing cost. And then we also just get our royalty, which is this next stage here, where we go ahead and set the price. Very simple. Let's go for $8.99 on Amazon.com. And then it will also be listed on all of these different Amazon sites too. I recommend just going through and changing them all to 99. You can take this expanded distribution box if you want your book to be sold on retailers outside of Amazon. You get much less royalties, but again, it's better than nothing. So I would generally keep this ticked. And then you can see here, if we list our book for $8.99, it's going to cost us $2.84 to print. With a 60% rate, means we get a royalty of $2.55 every single time we make a book sale. So this book is going to make us $2.55 every single time we sell a unit, which is really good. So that's exactly how you would set your price. All you then need to do is go ahead and press publish your paperback book, and then your book will be completely live on Amazon. And that is exactly how you bring a book like this to life.
So there you go, there is how you can use ChatGPT and Canva to create activity books that you can sell on Amazon KDP for thousands every single month. In this video, I've obviously not created the entire book. I've just shown you ways that you can utilize and leverage ChatGPT and combine that with Canva to create your books. Simply just go ahead and rinse and repeat the processes that I've showed you in this video, and you will be able to make hundreds of books that can make you thousands of dollars every single month. Now, if you are interested in Amazon KDP and you want to learn a little bit more, then I will leave a link to a video up here where I have a full 3.5 hour completely free Amazon KDP course, which you can check out and start learning the business model better. And if you want to take your learning even further, then you can join my premium Amazon KDP community, which I will leave linked down below in the description. But thanks very much for watching. Subscribe for more Amazon KDP content, and I will see you in the next video.